Hi there, welcome back to Explore Grammar with Zabed. In today's video, you will be able to learn how we generally change the person of the reported speech in indirect speech. I would specifically focus on a magical formula named as SUN formula, with ample number of examples. So, without wasting time, let's get started.
Let's first quickly remember what we learned in the previous video. What is speech? Speech is the art of reporting the words of speaker. There are two types of speech. First one is direct speech and the second one is indirect speech. In direct speech, actual words are quoted as it is without any change. Exact words are enclosed in the quotation marks or inverted commas. On the other hand, in indirect speech, exact words are transformed. They are not enclosed in inverted commas. Let's look into the example of direct speech. She said, I am composing an email. Here, said is an example of reporting verb. I am composing an email is an example of reported speech. In the indirect speech, the sentence will be written like this. She said that she was composing an email. Now we can see the two sentences here. The second sentence is the transformed version of the first one. These are all things and lots have been discussed in the previous video related to direct and indirect speech. Please watch that video if you haven't already or need a revision after this video. Links are provided in the description. We'll now look how we can change our direct speech into indirect speech. But before that, let's understand the steps to transform our direct speech into indirect speech for statements or assertive sentences. First step is to identify. This is the most important steps as you need to identify 5 things here: subject, object, reporting verb, pronouns in the reported speech, and finally tense in the reported speech if the reporting verb given in past form. Second step is the change of reporting verbs. Usually, reporting verbs are changed in this way. In assertive sentence, said becomes said, said to becomes told, said to becomes tell, says to becomes tells. Third step is to replace the quotation marks with conjunction that. We'll remove the inverted comma and join the speech with that. Fourth step is to change the pronouns. I will discuss about it shortly. Fifth step is to change the tense of the reported speech. It will happen when the reporting verb is in past form. And sixth or final step is a change in the words denoting time and place. Moreover, there are certain things you need to know. There are 2 important concepts that you must remember. First one is what is subject and object. Second one is what is person. It means about first person, second person and third person. So, what is subject and object in a sentence? Let me make it clear giving an example. In the clause, Malloy said to Papia. Here, Malloy is the person doing the action and Papia is the person receiving the action. The person doing the action is the subject and the person at the receiving end is the object. Please keep that in mind. Now let's understand what is person. For that, you need to understand point of view. Basically, there are 3 points of view in English grammar: first person, second person and third person. I'm going to make it clear with the help of an example. Suppose Nandan and Mithila are in the room, and Nandan is telling something to Mithila about Pooja, who is not in the room. Then in this case, Nandan is the first person as he is the one who is speaking. Mithila is the second person as she is the one who is listening Nandan, and Pooja is the third person as she is not present in the room. While they are talking, Nandan may be talking to Mithila like this: I am telling you that she is singing a song. For complete chart of personal pronouns, please refer this image. As you have already got to know that to convert a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, we must change the personal pronouns. The pronouns or persons of the direct speech are changed where necessary to reflect their narration with their reporter. When we change pronouns, usually we follow a formula named Sun formula. For changing to indirect speech, pronouns of reported speech are changed as per Sun equal to 1, 2, 3. Here, S of the Sun formula stands for subject, O stands for object, N stands for no change of the reporting speech. Again, one of 1, 2, 3 formula, 1 stands for first person, 2 stands for second person, and 3 stands for third person of the reported speech. That means that the first person of the reported speech changes according to the subject of the reporting speech. The second person of the reported speech changes according to the object of the reporting speech, and the third person of the reported speech does not change. Now, coming down to discuss the Sun formula with examples. In direct speech, we can see he said, I don't want to shock people. Here, the reported speech is introduced by the first person I. Remember, in the Sun formula, we have seen that the first person pronoun in the reported speech is changed according to the subject of the reporting speech. Here we can see the subject of the reporting speech is in third person. So, in the indirect speech, the answer will be he said that he didn't want to shock people. Let's look into one more example. They said, we will look after Tom. Here again, we can see the reported speech is introduced by first person pronoun we. So, according to the Sun formula, it will be changed to the subject of the reporting speech. Here, subject of the reporting speech is given in third person. For this, its indirect speech will be they said they would look after Tom. It means that the first person pronoun, that is I, we, me, us, my, mine, our, etc., always change according to the subject of the reporting speech. Next, coming down to discuss how we change second person pronouns in the reported speech. Let me make it clear to you with an example. He said to her, you are cute. Here the subject of the reported speech in second person you. I have already mentioned that the second person pronoun will change according to the object of the reporting speech. While object here, her, and its subjective case is she. So, the indirect speech will be he said to her that she was cute. cute. Let's look into one more example on second person in reported speech. Here the direct speech is, he said to me, you are a generous person. Again, we can see the subject of the reported speech is an example of second person. So it will be changed according to the object of the reporting speech. As the object of the reporting speech given here me and its subjective case is I, so the indirect speech will be, he said to me that I was a generous person. Finally, coming down to explain how we change the third person pronoun in the reported speech. Look at the example below. They said, she doesn't have the necessary qualifications. Here, the subject of the reported speech given she, and it's an example of third person. Remember the rule, what I have mentioned in the son formula. Yes, the third person pronoun doesn't change in the indirect speech. It means it will be same. So accordingly, the indirect speech will be, they said that she didn't have the necessary qualification. Let's look into one more example on third person in the reported speech. She said, it is raining. Here again, we can observe the subject of the reported speech given it. And this one is an example of third person. So again, we will not change the person here. Accordingly, the answer will be, she said that it was raining. So the last letter of the son formula means N states that the third person pronouns including he, she, they, it, her, him, his may be any name. For example, Ali, Maha, Mo, Prabha do not change in the reported speech. Keep in touch with Explore Grammar with Zabed. Have a nice time. In my next video, I will discuss the rules of changing tense. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any query, please feel free to message in the comment section. If the video really helped you, please hit the like button. Do share the video so that others can learn. And do subscribe the channel to get regular update about the course.